greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it. Look! I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it.
You name it. Yes, name your favorite Red Lobster dish and definitely put that in the comments. You name it from Shirley Caesar. Shout out to Pastor Shirley Caesar. She made you name it a meme, of course, without it being intended to be a meme, and that's exactly how memes are supposed to be formed in the first place. So that's some good due diligence right there. Red Lobster, they boasted a number of memorable commercials throughout the year, some that have lasted for a number of decades, but they didn't come into their own until Beyonce's shout out in Formation. Listen to this.
Since it dropped on Saturday, Beyonce's music video for her newest song, Formation, has racked up more than 17 million views on YouTube. And her appearance during the Super Bowl 50 halftime show, where she performed her latest hit, earned her 1.3 million Twitter mentions. And apparently, Queen Bee can also be credited with a spike in Sunday sales at Red Lobster. While Red Lobster usually draws in customers this time of year because of its Lobster Fest promotion, the seafood chain is giving kudos to Beyonce, who gave a colorful shout out to the restaurant in her song Formation. The company told CNBC that the day's sales increased by 33% compared to last year. Instead of being offended by the suggestive lyrics, Red Lobster's social media department decided to take advantage of the publicity and tweeted out, "Cheddar Bay biscuits has a nice ring to it, don't you think?" Pretty smart move, considering Billboard reports following the release of Bay's Formation track, Red Lobster trended for the first time in history. As a thank you to the singer, Red Lobster renamed 2 of its menu items in her honor, swapping out Bay in Cheddar Bay biscuits and Bay Breeze for Bay with an E. We happen to think those are changes the franchise should stick with. For Newsy, I'm Catherine Beek.
Yeah, there's something about the Bay biscuits, and I asked you to name your favorite dish in the comments, and definitely the Cheddar Bay biscuits is something that I've enjoyed, but as they say, all good things must come to an end, and maybe that's what's happening right now with Red Lobster. The fun and tasty frolic looks like it could be coming to a close because Red Lobster is allegedly heading towards bankruptcy. There's as many as 50 restaurants closing throughout the United States, but only some of the restaurants are slated to close for the long term. You have some restaurants that will only be closed temporarily, but nevertheless, it's still not stopping the restaurant from selling some of the kitchenware. And maybe that's what they're doing is, liquidating their assets and restructuring so that they can salvage whatever that can exist. I don't know. So can we save Red Lobster? Do you want to save Red Lobster? And if so, how do we do it? Put that in the comments. I mean, they're probably open to a number of ideas from right now, so anything that you can say in the comments can certainly help them. This chain has been around since 1968 from what I have seen in the research, so that's a bit before my time, but nevertheless, it's been around for more than half a century, but still, apparently, there's something for the chain to learn. And, we're here on this channel, Our Best Letters, and we're always learning. Remember, we are not here to be right. We're here to get it right. And maybe the lesson here with this Red Lobster situation is just the value of managing what you have and to be careful not to run yourself too low, because they're saying that their endless shrimp campaign is what contributed to this bankruptcy. So the seafood lover in you, one of their iconic lines in their commercials, apparently is pretty strong for a lot of people. They exhausted the resources at the restaurant, apparently, and now they are doing this, liquidating, this restructuring, and it could be up to and through bankruptcy. So we have to wait and see what's happening. But, this is also an issue on a broader scale because there have been a number of closures with restaurants and other retail chains over the last couple of years. And it just seems like it's mounting and that there's one thing after the next. And in some cases, long-held staples like Red Lobster. And I don't know, is this a flashing sign for the economy? Does this make you think more seriously, because a lot of people are grappling with inflation. They're grappling with money. Everything is higher. Even McDonald's, even Starbucks has seen a drop in sales just because so much is too damn high. The rent, we already know that's been too damn high. But for a number of people, the food is too damn high as well, too. And you've got more folks just getting resourceful, and they're just going to do it at home. And I've seen different TikToks, different YouTubes where people make their own homemade Cheddar Bay biscuits. So I don't know. You tell me. Maybe Red Lobster has run on emotion and nostalgia, I have to wonder. Again, it's one of those cult classic kinds of restaurants. And maybe that nostalgia, that's certainly appreciated by a certain group. And I wrote a little piece on nostalgia in Up Journey. And my favorite line that I put in there that I said is, if you can meme it, you can mean it. And we love the Shirley Caesar meme. We love the brief uptick in sales that they had because of Beyonce. And I think that kind of became a meme as well. And again, here with OBL, we look for the memes. We look for the meaning in things. And I don't know, if you have a fun meme that you've got for Red Lobster, put that in the comments as well, because there's probably a need to have a little bit of fun with this situation. There's this old kind of nostalgia from Project Runway, if you've ever heard of that show, and Tim Gunn, and a reference to Tim Gunn and Red Lobster. Check this out and see if you remember it.
I always have to start my sentences with Andre. It gets me into the character. I say, Andre, you really embarrassed me tonight at Red Lobster. There's already a big age difference, Andre, and you acting like a big baby and throwing a plate of lobster in my lap at dinner is not appropriate. I just kind of created this little story in my head that, you know, Tim and Andre had this romance going. Andre, but I still think we can make it work.
Why are Tim Gunn and I together in your sick, twisted world?
Andre is laughing along with it. I'm a little bit like, oh my God, does Tim Gunn know about this joke between him and Andre?
If we continue to fight in front of my colleagues at Red Lobster, we're gonna have to break up.
They've gone through the honeymoon period, and now they get into these little squabbles at Red Lobster.
We're gonna try to make this work.
Yeah, so a romance over some Bay biscuits. I mean, that actually sounds like kind of fun. And I have a personal history with Red Lobster. I think I might have had a couple of dates or so, but the real thing is just kind of growing up with Red Lobster. It was always a treat as a kid and as a teen to go, and I'd go with family. We went with friends as well. There was always laughs. There was always something there, you know, and the food was good enough, and it just became this third place for memories and just a way to kind of relax. It's casual dining. And I even worked at a Red Lobster briefly as a teen. And I met my friend Brian, my late friend Brian now, and we only worked around each other again for a few months. And then after I left, we kept in touch for a little bit. But so sad, like he was in this just freak accident and he wound up losing his life. He fell like a number of stories. He was up in the sky, he was cleaning windows and fell, and he lost his life in surgery. And I found this out years after the fact, and I was really devastated by that. And it's been some time since that's happened now, but I'm still impacted by the whole situation. And I guess it's compounded. I mean, Brian was a great person, so there's that. We connected, even though our bond was really brief. Yet, I think the bond that we had, our friendship that we had, was that much more amplified because it happened in that third place of Red Lobster, the place where I have childhood memories, where I have teen memories for sure. And that's when I met him as a teen, when we worked there. And then, of course, just after that, even in my 20s, I would hang out there with friends and go. It was always just kind of that place that was there, that little slice of Americana. And so to see that it looks like it's going to be over, I don't know. It makes me have a number of thoughts, and I just wonder what you think about that. And if you have any kind of favorite restaurant or hangout or just a third place that you want to talk about that you think is worthy of sharing, put that in the comments as well. And again, don't forget, while you're at it, should we save Red Lobster? Can we save it? How would we do it? Mention that. I'd love to speak in your school or your college or your nonprofit about coping with the loss of identity and fighting for more third places. Would love to get into that. Also, to check out my book, White Girl Within. That's dealing with identity in a way, identity loss, and finding an outlet. So there's Red Lobster is a cool outlet, at least it was for some time for some people. And having access to your authenticity is another kind of important outlet too. So you want to check that book out and process that. So I don't know. What do you think we need to do here with this Red Lobster situation? Let us know in the comments. But again, we appreciate your time, appreciate you joining us for this episode. And as always, send me a letter. Later.